My little brother stole my dream car, a pristine 1967 Mustang, for a joyride and smashed it into a ditch when he laughed it off. I sent him a $12,000 bill. Now he's not laughing anymore. Want to know how I got my revenge? Stick around, this one's a wild ride. If you've ever had someone disrespect what matters most to you, only to turn the tables and make them regret it, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive into a story of betrayal, a wrecked classic car, and justice. Served ice cold AM, a 28-year-old woman who's always had one dream: owning a 1967 Ford Mustang cherry red, fully restored chrome gleaming under the sun. It's not just a car, it's a symbol of every late night shift I worked every penny. I scrimped and saved for years. 8 months ago, I finally brought her home. I named her Ruby. I'd spend hours polishing her curves, the smell of wax and leather filling my garage. I barely drove her, terrified of even a scratch. She was my pride, my heart on wheels. Enter my younger brother, Jake, 24, the family's golden boy. He's the life of the party type, charming, loud, always chasing the next thrill. Growing up, I adored him even when his impulsiveness got him into trouble. He'd flash that grin and everyone, especially our parents, would let it slide. That's just Jake, they'd say, but I never thought his recklessness would hit me where it hurt. Most last Friday, Jake came to visit my small apartment in the suburbs. I'd been pulling double shifts at my accounting job, so I was exhausted. Over dinner, he kept eyeing Ruby's keys on the counter, joking, "Man, I gotta take that beast for a spin." I laughed it off, but my stomach tightened. "Not a chance," I said, half smiling, half serious. I went to bed, early, keys tucked safely in my drawer, or so I thought. I woke up at 6 a.m. to an empty driveway. My heart stopped. Ruby was gone. My hands shook as I dialed Jake's number. He picked up, laughing. "Relax, sis, I just took her for a spin. She's fine." His voice was so casual, like he'd borrowed a hoodie, not my $50,000 dream. I screamed at him to bring her back. He chuckled. "Chill, I'll be there soon." An hour later, my phone buzzed with a photo from Jake. My breath caught in my throat. Ruby's front end was crumpled like a soda, and her grill smashed, headlight shattered. She was half in a ditch mud, caking her once perfect paint. Jake's text read, "Oops, had a little fun with the boys." Fun? My vision blurred with rage. I could feel my pulse hammering in my temples. He didn't even sound sorry. I drove to the scene, my old beater of a backup car rattling the whole way. Jake was there with two of his buddies leaning against a tree, joking like it was no big deal. The air smelled of burnt rubber and gasoline. Ruby looked like she'd been through a war. "What the hell, Jake?" I shouted, my voice cracking. He shrugged, that infuriating grin still plastered on his face. "It's just a car, sis, mistakes happen. What would you have done staring at your dream wrecked while the person who did it laughs?" I called a tow truck and got an estimate from my mechanic. $12,300 to fix the damage. Insurance wouldn't cover it. Jake wasn't an authorized driver and his joyride voided the policy. I told him he was paying for it. His grin vanished. "I don't have that kind of money," he whined. "It was an accident." I asked what happened. Turns out he'd been racing his friends down a back road, showing off Ruby's power. He lost control on a curve. My fists clenched so hard my nails drew blood. "An accident? You stole my car." The worst part? Our parents took his side. "He's struggling." Mom pleaded over the phone, her voice soft but firm. "Family comes first, don't make this harder for him." Dad chimed in. "It's just a material thing, let it go." Let it go? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Ruby's crumpled hood. I heard Jake's laugh. "Family comes first? What about me?" That was my breaking point. I wasn't letting this slide. Jake didn't just wreck my car, he disrespected everything I'd worked for. I wasn't going to be the understanding sister anymore. I started planning. I called Allow Your Friend, Sarah, who owed me a favor from college. Over coffee, the bitter taste lingering on my tongue, I laid out the story. She grinned. "Let's make him sweat." We drafted a formal repayment agreement. $12,300. payable in installments with interest. If he missed a payment, I had it notarized for good measure. I mailed the agreement to Jake, certified so he couldn't dodge it. The look on his face when he got it, I wish I'd been there. He called me furious. "You're ruining my life over a stupid car." He yelled. I stayed calm, my voice like steel. "You ruined my car over a stupid joyride, pay up." He hung up, but I could hear the panic in his voice. For once, he wasn't laughing. A week later, we met at our parents' house to talk it out. Jake walked in, arms crossed, expecting me to back down like always Mom and Dad sat at the table looking at me like I was the villain. I slid the agreement across the table. "Sign it," I said, my voice steady despite the knot in my chest. Jake's face turned red. "You're heartless," he spat. "It was a mistake." I leaned forward, locking eyes. "A mistake is forgetting my birthday? You stole my car, raced it, wrecked it, and left this." I tapped the paper. "Is the consequence?" The room went quiet. Mom's eyes widened. Dad looked away. Jake grabbed the pen, hands shaking, and signed. For the first time, I felt the weight lift off my shoulders. Justice wasn't just served, it was mine. Jake has been making payments, $500 a month, scraped together from his bartending job. He's cut back on his partying, and I hear he's selling his gaming setup to cover costs. He's still mad, barely speaking to me and my parents. Keep dropping hints about forgiving him, but I don't care. Ruby's back in the shop, slowly coming back to life. Every time I visit her, I feel a spark of pride. I stood up for myself. Sometimes family tests you the hardest, but standing your ground, demanding respect, that's not petty. It's power. Karma doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it's worth the wait. If the story made you cheer for justice, smash that like button and drop a comment. What would you have done if someone wrecked your dream? Subscribe for more Reddit revenge stories where the underdog gets the last word. See you in the next one.